Welcome to Passionate Pioneers with Mike Biselli, where we highlight and speak with the innovators, the game changers, and the pioneers who are deeply passionate and relentless in solving the problems our world is facing today. This is your opportunity to connect with and learn from these leaders and to support them on their mission. Perhaps they will soon be hearing your story as well. This is Passionate Pioneers with Mike Biselli. I look forward to having you on this journey with us.
Welcome back to the podcast in session 6 of A Moment with Mike. I wanted to take a moment to discuss the change in the speed of innovation adoption in the healthcare industry during COVID-19 and what we can all learn from it and expand upon it. But before I dive in, a bit of housekeeping. While listening to any of our episodes, please make sure to join our free online community at passionatepioneers.com in order to share feedback and ideas and interact with the global ecosystem. If you're listening to this episode via our online community, thank you for being with us. And lastly, please take a moment to subscribe to the podcast so you will automatically receive episode updates in your podcast player. Simply search Passionate Pioneers with Mike Biselli in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. All right, let's take a few moments to chat about some of the trends that we're seeing in the industry due to the disruption COVID-19 has brought to it. A recent podcast episode from my friends Colin Hung and John Lynn over at Healthcare IT Today caught my attention. During this episode, Feel the Rush, one of the topics Colin and John discussed is how fast the industry is moving to stand up telehealth initiatives, given the massive need due to the pandemic. Colin and John also mentioned that one of the benefits of this rush is the tearing down of the bureaucracy that often slows innovation adoption. For instance, Colin and John mentioned that in normal times, standing up a telehealth instance for a provider organization could take upwards of 6 months and beyond. Yet, some organizations and tech companies are now doing it in 3 days. Also, in a recent article from KPMG titled COVID-19 Puts Insurers on the Fast Track to Technology Adoption, the authors stated the following. In 2008, the global financial crisis led to the redesign of payment systems and processes and brought to the horizon new entrants like the fintechs. 12 years later, COVID-19 will most likely lead the insurance sector to accelerate business innovation and shift more quickly from physical to digital channels and products with end-to-end automation and optimization of processes from intake through to claims. Many insurers have until now looked at digital transformation only at a product level or focused their efforts on individual components of the value chain. But now, there will likely be a greater realization of the need to digitally transform across the ecosystem. We can expect to see a reprioritization of technology spend. The authors concluded in this KPMG article, coming out of the crisis, the sector could look fundamentally different, much more agile, secure, connected, and digitally enabled. Perhaps indeed, COVID-19 was the digital wake-up call the industry needed. Now the opportunity is there for those who can gain value from it for their organization. So all of this got me thinking, might there be something for all of us to learn here? Many of us innovators have been banging our head against the healthcare wall for years, totally perplexed why it, quote, always has to be this way in regards to the adoption of new technologies initiatives. Do we truly need to continue to subscribe to the notion that innovation adoption cycles just always have to take a long time in healthcare? Or might we be able to study the positive benefits of the quick telehealth adoption cycles that we've been experiencing during COVID-19? Additionally, are there lessons learned that can be improved upon from these quick cycles that can be applied to other innovations in the industry? Think about the $1 trillion administrative waste we have annually in healthcare. Is there a new mindset that we can apply to quicker adoption cycles of innovation to tackle that mess? Or can we bring in more artificial intelligence, wearable technologies, remote monitoring, or other technologies and innovations that are waiting at the front door of healthcare to be adopted and implemented? But here's what I'm looking for to learn from all of you. To the incumbent industry leaders, where are some of the other areas in our industry beyond telehealth that we can apply this fast adoption cycle mindset that we've been seeing during COVID-19? Also, are there other identifiable areas to quickly innovate in? What are some of those that we should consider and be mindful of? I'd love to hear your feedback. Head over to passionatepioneers.com. There will be an article for this session to share your ideas, your feedback, and even challenge some of the notions that are in this session. Or you can find me over at LinkedIn and share your thoughts there, or at Twitter as well. Now, also to our innovators, where are some of the areas in the healthcare industry besides telehealth that you have been seeing quicker adoption cycles because of the disruption this pandemic has brought to the industry? Also, what are some of the lessons learned that could possibly be applied to other areas in this industry, both positive and negative? We're going to need both the incumbent industry leaders and the innovators to get through this pandemic and even beyond this crisis. We have to work together. We have to be able to knock down the bureaucracy, think anew, and bring new innovation and ideas, technologies, and processes to this industry that touches every single one of us. And so I want to learn from all of you. I want to have a spirited discussion around this, that here we are with COVID-19, watching the quick adoption of telehealth, and let us think, why can't this be happening across the industry? And if it can, what do we need to be mindful of? So with that, again, head over to our free global online community, passionatepioneers.com, and join us in the conversation. Or head over to LinkedIn and Twitter and let me know there as well. I'm looking forward to all the insight, perspective, and advice that all of you I know have in order to continue to push this industry forward together. Thank you for spending time with me today. Thank you for being part of our community here at Passionate Pioneers. It's because of all of you that we're continuing to rally around each other and move the industry forward together. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us today on Passionate Pioneers with Mike Biselli. We'd love to hear your feedback about the podcast so we can continue to improve this community and to further support the pioneers being featured. Lastly, please take a moment to subscribe to the podcast and invite your friends and colleagues to join us. This is Passionate Pioneers with Mike Biselli. I look forward to having you back with us during our next episode.